Okay, right.
Just make a decision and get on with it.
Brilliant. Today, we're going to look at the topic of decision trees. Decision trees help to provide managers with a visual understanding of decisions that involve an element of chance and the risks and rewards associated with various outcomes. To put it simply, they consider the probability of success and failure. Moving straight onto the diagram, there are a couple of things that we need to understand that will help us ensure that we get full marks in the exam. Let's start by drawing the diagram correctly. The first thing we need to do is to draw a square. This shape represents any decision that we have to make, and will always be at the start of any diagram we create. Next, lines provide us with information about the details of a decision, with a value for the cost associated with that decision, placed underneath the line. Circles are used to represent something called a chance node. When we make a decision, there are various possible outcomes that might then arise. The chance node allocates a mathematical probability to each of these outcomes. It is important to remember that the total value of the probabilities must add up to 1, or 100%, depending on whether we are using decimals or percentages. Mathematically, anything that is certain has a value of 1, whilst something that won't happen is given a value of 0. Each outcome will also have a financial return, or payoff, which can be positive, a gain, or negative, a loss. The return of each outcome is multiplied by the probability of it occurring. In this example, we can see 0.3 times 700,000, 0.2 times 500,000, and 0.5 times negative 100,000 pounds. When we add all of these values together, we get what is known as the expected monetary value, EMV, for that course of action. A common mistake is thinking that the expected value will be the level of profit earned if they select a particular decision. The EMV figure simply helps managers to balance the potential risks and rewards associated with a decision, usually opting for the decision with the highest EMV. In our example, if the expansion goes really well, they actually stand to make £700,000 profit. Next, the £235,000 cost of the decision to expand into China is subtracted from the expected value figure of £260,000 to give the net gain of £25,000 for this decision. When compared with the decision to remain in the UK with a loss of £100,000, we can see that this would be a poor decision, so we draw a line through it to show it as non-viable. The best choice is China, as it offers us the highest net gain. Right. So let's now work through a full practice question to check our understanding. Ben's, a local pizza parlor, is looking to decide whether it is worthwhile extending their opening hours to include the forthcoming bank holiday. Their research tells them that the chances of success from opening on the bank holiday are 65%, with a potential gain of £680. The chances of failure are 35%, 0.35, with a gain of just £175. The cost of opening the shop would be £250. So, we start by drawing a square to represent our decision to either open the pizza shop or remain closed. We know that if we decide to open, that there are two possible outcomes, success or failure, so we draw a circle and add in the expected payoffs and probabilities to show these options. When we multiply 680 by 0.65, and then add this to 175 multiplied by 0.35, we arrive at an expected value of £503.25. We then deduct the cost of opening the pizza store from the expected value. So, we subtract £250 and arrive at a final net gain value of £253.25. This decision seems to be the correct one to take. We have made a lot more money than keeping the store closed. However, decision trees ignore qualitative issues. Ben might have wanted to spend the bank holiday with his family. Does it really seem that good value now? In summary, the process of constructing a decision tree will force a management team to at least analyze and assess the benefits and drawbacks of the options facing them when making decisions. It might also prompt a discussion about the levels of risk that they are prepared to accept as a business, and they can consider how to increase the probability of more favorable outcomes. However, the issue of data reliability assumes vital importance. Decision tree analysis is reliant upon knowing the probability of certain outcomes, but unless previous data or experience is held, often this ends up being little more than an educated guess. Even with valid research, nothing remains static for very long, so decision trees are of relatively limited value in dynamic markets such as fashion and technology, where probabilities are quickly outdated. A final issue is that of bias. A manager who has worked hard upon developing a report into a project that they support might have allocated slightly more favorable probabilities to a positive outcome to secure funding and support from the senior leadership. Right, that's me done. Now, to decide what to have for my tea. Fish, burgers, takeaway perhaps.
You must be kidding me. Not again.